Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for a brand new Chelsea FC news video. Yesterday, someone said in the comments, normally if there's like one comment talking about something that is negative, I don't really tend to take it in. But when it was along the lines of Benson, you wearing your glasses, it's less personal, I can't connect with you as much. I'm like, you know what? That is constructive criticism. So today, I will suffer with the sun in my eyes. I will burn myself because I totally agree that it's about the connection. It's about looking in to these things here that you can't really see because it is actually bloody bright today and sunny. And we talk about our beloved Chelsea. Before we get into anything though, I do want to ask you to subscribe to GBFC if you haven't already done so, because things seem to be moving and they seem to be moving quite quickly. Yesterday, it was reported by Sky Sports that Chelsea matched Paris Saint-Germain's bid of £56.1 million for Achraf Hakimi. It looks as though Chelsea are very, very serious about this deal. If we approached Hakimi and actually offered £56.1 million, there was some talk that it was also involving some players. So maybe the deal was a bit of cash plus some players that equated to the value of £56.1 million. I'm not entirely sure yet on the details, but Chelsea have offered the likes of Emerson to Inter Milan. However, Inter Milan are in a pretty sticky financial situation. They don't want to see players as part of the deal. So any offer for any Inter Milan player, whether it's Lukaku or Hakimi, it's really only going to be accepted if it is a cash deal. So Paris Saint-Germain are in there. They've been talking to Hakimi's representatives, but Chelsea have swooped in and they want to get this one done. Now, it kind of ties in with some of the reports that we've heard regarding the players in the positions that Thomas Tuchel wants this summer. We're talking a striker, we're talking a central base player, be it a centre-back or a midfielder, and also the right wing-back position. A lot of people are saying that the right wing-back position or the right side isn't necessarily something that Chelsea need to strengthen. However, I think it's also very important to remember the footballing world and the market that we're in now and the luxurious position that Chelsea are in. If we look from the bird's eye view at what is being created at Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel, it is a side that relies on counter-attack and wing-back, sometimes on attacks with speed and pace. And it's also a team who are very compact at the back, and we like to build through our midfielders into the more progressive attacking players. So Achraf Hakimi, right now, at 21 or 22, I think he's 22 years old, is already one of the best wing-backs in the world. Now, although we've said that Thomas Tuchel might be actually looking to move away from the wing-backs to be able to incorporate more of our attacking players, considering we won the Champions League playing this way, I don't necessarily think it should be Thomas Tuchel's biggest thing to work on. I think actually going with three centre-backs and actually finding the right wing-backs and the right balance is actually just as good of a way for Chelsea to be progressing. So Hakimi, I think it's one of those where we look at the quality of the player and he's absolutely fantastic. And already at such a young age, in that position, he has proven, both at Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan last season, that he's one of the best in that role. So I said yesterday within the video that moving Reece James to a right centre-back position to accommodate for Hakimi could actually be a good idea. I stand by that one. There are a lot of people saying in the comments, but you can't just disregard Azpilicueta. It's not about disregarding Azpilicueta. It's similar to what we saw with Gary Cahill. And no, John Terry's the best example. When John Terry was still Chelsea captain and he was still at Chelsea Football Club, it was obvious, and I know that Azpi's not quite as old as Terry was, but Terry was slowly moving out of the team to make way for the younger players. And I think in terms of the mentality and the character and what Chelsea means to Azpilicueta, it is certainly something on the similar level to that of John Terry. Not saying that Azpi's anywhere near finished. I think he's still got a couple of years right at the very top, and I really hope that is at Chelsea Football Club. However, when an opportunity arises to sign a player like Hakimi, at this moment in time, with the quality we already have at Chelsea, we're building something special. And if you add one of the best wing-backs in the world, who's 22 years old, to that equation, then I think it is a phenomenal deal for Chelsea. We can start experimenting with Reece in that right centre-back position. We've got players for rotation again. There is talk that both Alonso and Emerson could be leaving Chelsea this summer. So with Hakimi competent playing on the left-hand side as well, it also gives us cover for Ben Chilwell. And we also look at that and think, well, Azpilicueta's been decent on the left-hand side. We've got players who can fit in different roles all over the back line. And then we move Reece James into centre-back. And I actually think it takes away some of that potential pressure that Chelsea might have this summer if we're looking to buy another centre-half. With Zuma, Christensen, Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta, Rudiger, we have a very, very solid defensive line already. If you can add Reece James into that central defensive line, because Hakimi is the better on the right wing, then I totally think this is a great deal for Chelsea. I still think there's a lot to be said for Reece James's ability as a wing-back. I think he's absolutely top draw. But again, I bring it back to what I said earlier. In the current footballing market, when a player of this quality becomes available and Chelsea can go for him and we can see a solid reason why, which I think I've highlighted in today's video, and I think Thomas Tuchel has too, then I think this is, in fact, a really good deal. We move into the second story of the day. It's kind of the reverse of what we talked about yesterday, and it is the update surrounding Erling Haaland. And I think the key thing that I've not addressed so far on GBFC, which in yesterday's video I said why Chelsea will sign him, and of course you know, when I get the bee in my bonnet about Chelsea are going to get this guy, normally I tend to stick with it until I'm proven wrong, and then I'll eat a slice of the humblest of pies and say that I was wrong. However, another thing that I think is key when we think about the football transfer market right now, a lot of teams in the Premier League are going to be looking at the European Championships as the perfect opportunity to actually see what bargains could potentially be available. You've got teams like Hungary, you've got teams like Denmark, Finland, Ukraine, some of these sides that won't be expecting to win the competition, but there may well be some gems hidden within these squads. And then top performances at the Euros usually equal higher transfer interest during that summer after the competition is finished. So with Erling Haaland not playing in the Euros because Norway didn't qualify, I think it offers Chelsea the perfect opportunity to get our big business done before this competition, not before the competition kicks off. That's near impossible considering the complexity of the Haaland deal. But if Chelsea can get their main business, if not all of their business done before the Euro 2021 ends, then it puts us in that quality position again where our manager already knows before the international competition is over exactly what he's going to be working with going into pre-season. We saw it with Chelsea at the beginning of last season. The fact that we didn't have a proper pre-season, I think it kind of was an excuse to an extent for all of the Premier League sides' form in the early stages of the Premier League year. And I think Chelsea, for example, with so many new signings, integrating them all together was actually far more difficult because that pre-season wasn't there. This summer, I firmly believe if Thomas Tuchel gets his signings and the players he wants over the line before the end of the Euros, so that when everyone comes back to training and pre-season begins, Chelsea know exactly who's in that squad. I honestly think next season, with all of this, what we've seen from Tuchel, with the way that he tactically prepares, with the way that he is as a manager, if everyone is there and ready, and Tuchel knows in his mind exactly who's going to be there at the beginning of next season, then I firmly expect Chelsea to go all the way and push Manchester City for the title next season and maybe even win the Premier League. So the current update is Erling Haaland is willing to talk to Chelsea. It is all at the moment about whether Chelsea are willing to table the kind of astronomical bid that Borussia Dortmund would be considering to sell and accept this summer. So that fee is supposedly within the region of £150 million. Chelsea and Roman Abramovich can do this. It's whether or not we actually pull our finger out of the pocket, see this as an opportunistic signing for one of the best strikers in the world already, with the potential to be one of the best players in the world. His goal-scoring record, Erling Haaland, is absolutely sensational. The aura surrounding the bloke it's infectious, you know. People, even if you think he's a bit arrogant, he delivers with the goals, he delivers with the stats, and when you've got that kind of confidence, I think it is a recipe for pure success at Chelsea Football Club if we are indeed to go for the striker this summer. And all of the talks and stars at the moment are aligning. EH signed for the European champions after winning it in 2012. Maybe Ian H will sign again. Erling Haaland for Chelsea in 2001. But anyway, consolidating these two stories, keeping you guys up to date with the latest Chelsea news here on GBFC. Hakimi looks as though we're super interested. Haaland, we're interested. It's a waiting game. Are we going to put in that bid? I'm sure we'll find out a bit more over the course of the next few days. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go change my t-shirt because I'm sweating like a flipping dog in the flipping sauna. I don't know, there was definitely another phrase that I was going for, but you guys know what I'm like. If I make a mistake in a video, we own it, we move on. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys later. Come on, you Blues. Champions of bloody Europe.